Hi everyone. So I want to talk a little bit about physical activity from an evolutionary perspective. And the analogy I like to use is that of an obstacle course. Now, imagine you live in a world where if you want to have a meal, your only option is to navigate an obstacle course. And if you're not willing to do that, then basically you don't eat, right? And that was essentially our evolutionary reality for hundreds of thousands of years. And if you consider our evolutionary ancestors, then you're talking about literally millions of years. In other words, you either moved or you died. Now, if we think about this from the body's perspective and how the body sees movement, keep in mind that movement requires a lot of energy and resources, right? To move around a lot, you need large, strong muscles. Those burn a lot of energies. You need thick, strong bones to support the weight and the movement. That also requires a lot of nutrients. And you need a good cardiovascular system with lots of energy burning mitochondria. Now, think about that in the evolutionary world in which it was difficult to acquire calories, much different than today's reality, right? So the body is faced with this dilemma. I know we have to move to survive, but movement is super costly because it requires a lot of energy and nutrients. And so the dilemma facing the body is to spend as few calories as possible invested in movement to acquire food and calories to make sure that there's always a caloric surplus. And that's why our bodies literally have a use it or lose it design. So the body's saying, look, you show me exactly what you need in terms of physical activity, muscles, bones, etc. And I'm going to give you exactly that, but not a gram more. And by the way, if you start using less, I'm going to take it away from you because those things burn a lot of energy. Now, the key point to keep in mind here is that movement was always going to happen. Sedentary behavior wasn't an option. So from the body's perspective, it's simply thinking, look, maybe in the summer, that obstacle course, if we return to the analogy, that obstacle course is going to be shorter and easier to navigate. And in the winter, it's going to be longer and harder to navigate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust your muscle mass and your bone density over time to match your physical activity requires. But there was never a scenario in which there would be no movement at all, exactly the scenario which is possible today. And the ultimate consequence of this reality is that our bodies are literally designed to require physical activity to maintain our health and to work properly. And that's why physical activity provides so many benefits to our health. It goes way beyond just muscle mass and bone density. If you look at the long list here of everything that physical activity has scientifically been proven to improve, you see why physical activity is truly the closest thing to a magical elixir that exists in the world of health and vitality. And I hope that this evolutionary perspective will provide you with additional motivation to make sure that you prioritize incorporating regular daily movement into your routine. All right, so that's the provocation for today. Cheers.